Very good morning to everybody. Temperature is still low, but during the day it will go up. But as I remember from previous occasions, your discussions are always very fruitful, result-oriented. Later on, we will enjoy a bit the sun outside while opening the exhibition. It's my real pleasure to be with you today, this morning. And for me, it's for the third time I participate in the India M2M and IoT Forum. And this is a clear confirmation of my personal and the EU commitment and devotion to this, to cooperation between the European Union and India in this field. And allow me again to congratulate the organizers for bringing together so many eminent experts, mainly from India, but as well from Europe, who will discuss practical instruments for our cooperation. And for us it's important because we would know much more about India's plans and India's ambitions concerning development in this very important field. And I would like to underline again that this is not our presence here and our support to your event. It's not about giving only some kind of hints and advices and sharing experience from our side. We are as well interested. I perceive it as a cooperation forum, and I see a bright future for our cooperation, because for Europe to develop concept of MTM, IoT as well is a challenge. That's why if we would be able to work together, we will profit, both of us, from such type of cooperation. But before going to exact subjects of our meeting, allow me to give you a bit more general background for EU-India relations, because during the last few weeks we have been observing new, very promising developments. We launched very promising and forward-looking vision for EU-India relations, particularly when our leaders met with Prime Minister Modi in New Delhi in October 2017. That time, the leaders of both sides adopted and designed a forward-looking medium and long-term vision for our partnership based on communality of values, principles, but first of all, based on mutually identified interests. And as another confirmation of our commitment to developing relations with India, I'm really pleased to inform you that in November last year, the European Union adopted an EU strategy for our relations with India. This is a very basic document which covers not only declarations and expresses clear political commitment, but as well is full of very detailed ways and directions for our future development. In general terms, the strategy focuses very much on two main directions of our cooperation. First one is a cooperation for modernization, for economic and social modernization, which is important both for India and for the European Union. And the second main direction is cooperation on foreign policy, security, and global issues. And this strategy was endorsed by all EU member states. It means that what we expressed in November, it's not only EU institution based for our cooperation with India, but this is a really European Union approach. For us, India is an extremely important partner with whom we want to develop relations in the medium and long term. We place India in our policy on the top of our agenda, and we want to develop relations in all possible fields. And coming back to the issue of cooperation aiming at social and economic modernization, both in Europe and in India, of course, so-called sectoral cooperation is very important. What I mean sectoral cooperation? We have established and we have advanced already very much our cooperation in such fields like clean energy, climate, water management, space, urbanization, resource efficiency, ICT, and so on and so on. And in this context, allow me to recall that we have, during the last 2-3 years, we have established a number of partnerships to streamline our cooperation in the fields I have just mentioned. The main idea for such partnerships is to conduct a policy dialogue in order to understand each other's strengths, each other expectations and needs. The second layer for such partnerships is to try to bring together providers of technologies, expertise, and whenever possible to provide even offers for some business solutions. And whenever possible, we are always ready to put in place some financial instruments which can be helpful for deepening such type of cooperation. And in this cost, of course, the role of European Investment Bank, which has expanded its action in India, is essential. Only last year, the European Investment Bank invested 1.7 billion euros in support of some infrastructure projects, but as well projects related directly to clean energy and climate change. One of those partnerships I have mentioned is EU-India partnership on smart urbanization. And such partnership is designed for streamlining and deepening our cooperations related to the development of India's concept of smart cities, but green housing, new and renewable energy sector, and so on and so on. And we are very much in touch with the Ministry of Urban Development and with Minister Singh to put substance into that partnership. And during the last few months, I have visited a number of cities around India, and I really was very satisfied and impressed by a level of practical cooperation we have already reached, not only at declaratory and policy level, but in practical terms. Because the idea of such partnership is to bring together stakeholders from EU institutions, EU member states, Indian Union government, Indian state governments, city governments. That's why this is something which should work, and my conviction is it works at the practical level. And allow me to give you only a few examples what we do at this moment in the field of developing concept of not only concept but developing smart cities. In partnership with the French Agency for Development, the EU supports the Smart City mission for collaborative efforts promoting low carbon and innovative city-level ideas. We provide technical assistance on urban mobility and sustainable housing. In partnership with the International Finance Corporation, We support 5 Indian cities towards climate-smart municipal services and green building market. We sponsored the Future Internet Media Project, which has fomented collaboration between EU and India research and industry to promote smart agriculture and how it could relate to smart villages. I gave you only a few examples with not listing, of course I didn't list all of them. And in this context, one of the issues which I would like to underline specifically is our cooperation in the field of science technology. You are fully aware that trying to develop a smart city concept, smart village concept, we need new technologies, we need research and development. That's why in this context, our project, our scheme, which is called Horizon 2020, which has been put in place by the European Union, is a very good tool for both European and Indian researchers, universities, research institutions to work out concepts and projects, to establish consortia and to work for solutions which will be able to help developing technology solutions for in the field we are just discussing. That's why this is really very important. That's why I would like once again attract your attention to options which exist under Horizon 2020 scheme. And in addition to that, even going beyond Horizon 2020, recently we have launched a number of joint projects launched by the European Union and India, which are co-financed by the European Union and the Indian government, including in such fields like smart grids, water management, and so on, so on. And another good example of our cooperation, which serves very, very well our objectives, is the EU funded project on ICT standardization. Now, when we are working to develop new solutions for M2M and IoT sectors, we need to think about standards and standardization. We should do something which will be workable, not only in a city scale or a village scale, but it should work at state level, it should work throughout such countries like India, and it should work throughout Europe as well. And to avoid problems, technical problems and standard problems in the future, from my point of view, it's extremely important to work together on standard and standardizations. That's why our cooperation in the field of telecom standards are very important, and we have established, and we are going to continue, we are very committed to continue our cooperation between TSDSI and other Indian institutions and European bodies to be sure that in the future we will be able to have standards which will be common for all of us, and through that, through EU-India cooperation, we will be able even to influence the shaping of international standards. And in this context, I would like to recall you that a few months ago, India was visited by the Vice President of European Commission, Mr. Ansip, who is Vice President responsible for European digital single market. And he discussed a lot of practical issues with Minister Sina and the private business to streamline and to deepen our cooperation. I hope that now we are in the process of deepening and strengthening such type of cooperation and having in mind the scale of Indian and European market, we really have something to say, and we have identified clear interests for the future. And dear friends, as usual, I talk a bit too much, but I'm always very enthusiastic by our practical cooperation and links which have been established and will continue between practitioners from both sides. And as I remember, after last year event, the similar event in the same room, after some time, I received a booklet with results of your deliberations. That's why this I will be very happy to look into your results of your discussions and conclusions from your discussion. And from my side, I would like to assure you that I will continue providing support to your work, and whenever you will have you would have some workable ideas and practical solutions, we will be ready to engage, and we will be ready to promote them further. That's why I'm absolutely sure that the India M2M and IoT Forum 2019 will enjoy the same success as its previous editions, and let me reaffirm that the European Union is committed to strengthening cooperation with our strategic partner country India in a wide range of fields, among which smart cities and smart villages have a prominent role. Dear friends, thank you very much, and I wish you fruitful deliberations today and tomorrow. Thank you very much.